Hjertelig velkommen til et nytt program her på Israelkanalen. I dag så er vi i Petah Tikva, og her møter vi en aktivist på sosiale medier, Hananya Naftali. Welcome to the show, Hananya.
Welcome. Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure. You are a social media activist for Israel. Tell me a little bit about how you started with that.
Well, I started when I was a soldier in the Israeli army. I served in the Armored Corps, and I participated in the protective edge operation, the Gaza war in 2014. And honestly, I was angry when I saw how the international media was treating Israel. They were spreading lies about what I did in Gaza. They were telling people that we were monsters, that we are murdering people. And I said, this is complete lies. Why? Because I was there. I was doing the job of defending Israel from terrorists. So I said to myself, well, something needs to be done. My English is not so good. I'm not sure. I used to be very shy. So I said, I will just try and do it and see what happens. And this is basically how I started to advocate for Israel, make videos, and where I simply share the truth. As an Israeli, no need for more than that. Just a camera and the truth. This is how I started.
So how many followers do you have now on Facebook and Twitter?
Well, I think that altogether it is getting closer to a million. On Facebook, I have around 600,000 followers, and well, I don't like to call it followers. I like to call it family members, because I think that it is a big family on social media that advocates for Israel, shares the truth, and we are all ambassadors of the truth. I always tell people, especially in Norway, where I visited for the first time, I told people that they are the real ambassadors for Israel and the truth, especially as Christians, because I live in Israel, I'm an Israeli, so obviously I will defend Israel, but they who don't live in Israel, they are the ambassadors.
What kind of response do you get?
Well, I have a very interesting story to tell, that I made a video with an Arab Muslim Zionist friend of mine, and after posting it, I got a message from an Egyptian student. He told me that he wanted to enter Israel via Jordan and stab Jews, but he bumped onto one of my videos and he changed his opinion. He said, I saw that you are not the monsters I thought you were. I see that you are human beings, that you seek peace. And this is one of the responses that really touched my heart. Obviously, I get hate messages, hate comments, I get support. And I really, you might be surprised, but I'm encouraged by hate comments and hate messages, because it means that I'm doing the exact job that needs to be done, that I reach the exact people that I want to reach, that don't know the truth about Israel.
Yeah, so one of the purposes is then to educate about how Israel actually is. So this Arab from Egypt saw your interview with the other Zionist Arab. How did his mind change because of that?
Well, he wrote me that he felt the love of peace between a Jew and a Muslim, and it's something that he didn't know. Honestly, it shocks me, because when you come to Israel, when you land in this country and you go to Jerusalem, you see Muslims and Jews shop together, work together, live together, go to coffee together. This is Israel. We are normal people. And this is exactly what I want to show people, that we are a normal country. We are an island of sanity in a crazy Middle East. And this is what changed his opinion, because he thought that it's not like that. He thought that Israel is in constant war against Palestinians, against Muslims, that we treat them badly, that there is apartheid in Israel. And when he saw that, wow, a Jew stands together with a Muslim and they both stand up for Israel, it shook him. basically.
Yeah. I also heard from the Operation Good Neighbors up in the north, when wounded Syrians came for help crossing the Israeli border, and also Israeli medical personnel went into Syria to administer health care and help for them. And some of them also said the same thing, that they heard so much bad about Israel, but in the final end, when they discovered how they were treated, it totally changed their mind.
True. I can tell you that I also took part in the Good Neighbor operation.
Really?
I was a combat medic in the Armored Corps, and it's amazing to think that, you know, most of the people that I have treated with my Israeli hands are not Israelis. They were Palestinians and Syrians. We saved the lives of Palestinians and Syrians.
Wow.
We would go and save the lives of Syrian injured civilians, and it really an experience that really touched my heart, because they didn't know our language, they didn't know English, they didn't know Hebrew, and you could see in their eyes that they say thank you. At first they looked at us with fear, but when we would bring them back to Syria after saving their lives, they had eyes that say thank you. And one Syrian woman even told me in Hebrew, "Toda rabba," which means thank you very much. And these are the small events, well, big events that I want people to hear, and I want people to know that we seek peace, we help our neighbors, not because we want to build Israel a good name. It's because it's the right thing to do, being human beings, you know?
I didn't know that you were part of that operation at all, so thank you very much for sharing that.
My pleasure.
Did you experience anything else particular when you were up in the north?
What do you mean?
With meeting Syrians?
Well, working with the injured Syrians is a huge blessing for me as an Israeli, because this is what I wanted when I joined the army. I wanted to do something good, and this is what my commanders in the IDF, they told me. You know, you are now a combat medic in the Israel Defense Forces. You will treat everyone. You will save the lives of people, because this is what we need to do. We don't pick, you know, between a Muslim or a Jew. You see a life that needs to be saved, and you do it. And it's, you know, I will never forget the image of when we return the Syrians back to their homes. They came to us with nothing. Their clothes were torn apart from the bombings, from whatever it was. And when we bring them back to Syria, they come with bags filled with clothes, with crutches, with everything that they need. Israel gives them. It's something that, you know, it was under the radar. So the media wasn't aware of that. I'm glad that now it is public, but we were working day and night to save lives.
Yeah, that's wonderful to hear. I mean, it's so good that people in the world actually can participate in that knowledge and receive that and see what Israel actually are doing, good things to their neighbors.
Exactly.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit more about your background. I hear you have an accent that is not particular American or European.
Well, that's because I'm an Israeli. I was born in the Galilee, in the city of Tzfat, and I grew up in Israel. My parents, they immigrated to Israel as soon as communism collapsed in the Soviet Union. They came to Israel, and I learned English in school, and now I use it to defend Israel. And I'm proud to be an Israeli and a Jewish person who lives in Israel.
I heard also that you have been living in Samaria. Tell me a little about that.
Well, my family lived in Samaria for a few years until the disengagement plan in 2005, when Prime Minister Ariel Sharon decided to withdraw from land in exchange for peace. Let's call it that way. So basically, what happened is that communities in the Gaza Strip, they were evacuated, and also a few communities in North Samaria were evacuated. We were part of that, unfortunately. So we had to leave our home. It happened in 2005. Do we have peace now? No.
No.
It was a waste of land. We gave land for nothing. And it breaks my heart that I had to, as a child, I had to leave my home. I asked myself this question: okay, why do I have to leave my home now? For peace. This is a decision that was made. I said, okay, I have to accept this decision, but we don't have peace. We don't have peace, and it's something that people need to understand. Peace is not coming in exchange for something. Peace is coming in exchange for peace. This is the only way that it could work. Land for peace, it doesn't work.
I see from time to time that you post nice pictures from the Galilee. Are you going there for Shabbat oftentimes?
Oh yes, the Galilee, especially the Sea of Galilee, is one of my favorite places in Israel because it is so relaxed. There is no noise, no work. So I love to visit there, and because my parents, they live in the Galilee, so it's always good for me to visit the Galilee. It brings up memories from my childhood. I think I'm privileged to be able to spend my life 10 minutes from the Sea of Galilee. I think that it's an awesome childhood, and it's very relaxed, quiet.
So it's you experience the Shabbat Shalom then?
Yes. It's it's something that people don't know. Also in Europe, people that haven't been to Israel, they think that Israel is a land of conflict. Israel is a place of war. This is what my parents thought before they came to Israel, because they saw on the Soviet television that Israel is a desert. They packed a tent and they came to Israel. But when you visit Israel, you see that it's a land filled with life. You have parks, you have snow in the winter up in the Golan, you have the desert, you have the sea, you have forests, and it's not a land of war. It's a land that seeks peace. So it's something that amazes me every time.
So after you started posting stuff on the social media, that also got attention by the Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. And tell me what happened.
Well, this is true. I started making videos, started to explain the truth about Israel, and I asked, I asked to make a video with the Prime Minister. I said, I think this could be powerful. And they said, okay, let's do it. I filmed a video. It was my first and not last meeting with the Prime Minister, because later they called me and they said, well, the Prime Minister wants you on board to join the social media team. And it was a huge blessing for me to be able to serve Israel from the Prime Minister's office together with the Prime Minister's team. It's something that it's very unique, and I am blessed to be in this position.
So how many colleagues do you have working with that?
Well, we have various colleagues on the social media team. The amazing thing is that you are able to really serve Israel. It's amazing. It's knowing the truth from within and not from watching the news, and it's helping to advance Israel. And I'm very happy for for this current Prime Minister Netanyahu. I think that he really seeks to advance and promote Israel. And well, I think that we all can see that on international stages. Israel is respected. People come to do business with Israel, and Israel is a flourishing island in this crazy Middle East. You go to Syria, there is a war there. You know, Iran is threatening Israel, and the Arab world is coming closer to Israel. Things are changing here in the Middle East, and I'm thankful that we have this Prime Minister.
Yeah, we can see that some of the Arab countries that have been hostile to Israel is actually opening up. We heard a few days ago about Jews traveling to Saudi Arabia, and I think that is some landmarks in the history of how actually things on the ground can change here.
Absolutely, things are changing here in the Middle East, and I think that people should be aware of that. You know, Saudi Arabia now allows an Indian airline to fly Israelis using its airspace from Israel to India. They allow them to cross Saudi Arabia. And I think it's something amazing. It's something that we never imagined before, that Israel will have a partnership with the Arab world. I think that it's something amazing. And that's a result of our ambition. We want to make peace. We made peace with Egypt. We made peace with Jordan. You know, we seek peace. When I grew up as an Israeli, they taught me in school about peace. They proudly were talking about the peace with Egypt and the peace with Jordan, because this is what we want, peace.
Yeah. Some critics of the work you do may say that this is just propaganda. What do you say to such a claim?
That what I do is propaganda?
Exactly.
Well, first of all, I'm an Israeli. I am biased. I love my country. I will do everything to defend Israel. But I think that those people that say that what I do is propaganda, they have never been to Israel. You know? Because I'm speaking the truth. All you need to do is come to Israel and see the truth for yourself. You know, this is what I encourage people to do, you know? You don't want to believe me? Don't believe me. Come to Israel and see the truth for yourself. Come to Jerusalem. Come to Jaffa. You will see how Muslims and Israelis and Jews are coming together, working together. You know, right at this point, we have over 100,000 Palestinians who are working for Israeli companies. This is facts on the ground, you know. So this is what I encourage people to do: to visit Israel, see the truth for themselves. You know, if you don't want to believe me, don't. All you need to do is just see the truth for yourself. And this is, by the way, something that the Prime Minister told me when I met him for the first time. I asked him how we can advocate for Israel and do a good job. And he told me, it's simple, just tell the truth. We don't need to lie. We don't need to twist facts. We need to just tell the truth. This is very easy, but very important.
Yeah. He actually told us last year at the Christian Media Summit in 2018, he urged the journalists that were present to report nothing but the truth about the country. And I think that is something that, you know, is also making him stand out, because he don't want to buy into the propaganda things about Israel that could be
Yes.
produced if one wanted to do that, but instead of focusing on what is the truth and tell it as it is.
True. Israel is not a perfect country. Show me a perfect country. There is no perfect country. But we always seek to become better. Israel is a young country, and to see that from nothing, we have now high towers. Visit Tel Aviv, you will see the huge buildings. The startup, it's a startup nation, a leading country in technology. You know, I think that it's amazing, but Israel is not perfect, and this is something that people forget. They criticize Israel because they want, because they think that Israel should be perfect, but no country is perfect. You know, so I think that people should be, you know, understand that criticizing Israel, criticizing anything is you know, it's something that it's okay, but they need to realize that Israel is a country that seeks peace and always improves, and I think that all of us can see that.
For how long have you been working with the Prime Minister now?
I have been working for him since 2018, so I think that it's over close to 2 years now, I think. Yeah.
Okay. It's hard to get track of the time.
Yes, yes.
Time flies by so fast. If you have anything that you dream of seeing it through your work, what would that be?
Sorry?
If you have any vision about your work, what would that be?
Well, my dream is to see peace in the Middle East. My dream is to visit Tehran in Iran. My dream is to visit Saudi Arabia. My dream is to see a new Middle East, and I think that it's possible to make the Middle East greater. It is possible, and this is my vision. And for the world to realize the truth about Israel, because we see rising anti-Semitism in Europe, we see rising hate crimes against Jews. I mean, in this last year, we witnessed so many events of Jewish graves that were toppled, cemeteries that were vandalized. You know, can't these anti-Semites leave the Jews alone? It's a problem. It's a problem, and we must face it and combat it. First of all, Prime Minister, thank you very much for having time to meet and discuss this important topic. Prime Minister, we're having an ongoing battle on social media, and it is hard to advocate for Israel. And I would love to hear what is your tip, what is your advice for our viewers? How can we help the state of Israel on social media?
I think it's easy to advocate for the state of Israel, because all you have to do is advocate the truth. That's my tip. Just tell the truth. Talk about our attackers. Who are they? Who are they supporting? These head choppers? Hamas? Palestinian democracy exactly in Ramallah? I mean, what? They obey women's rights? They respect gays? They respect minorities? It's ridiculous. The whole thing is ridiculous. Israel is the one beacon of liberalism, of pluralism, of freedom. Just tell the truth. We're not free of blemishes. You know, we're not perfect. Who is? But compared to whom? Compared to our Palestinian attackers who have no respect for human rights, for their own people, for the freedom of their own people. This is, I think it's absurd, it's preposterous. You know, the only way we're going to move peace forward is to move on truth. Defend the truth, stand up for truth. When you stand up for the truth, you stand up for Israel. What can we say to people that deny our connection to the land of Israel? Well, we've only been there here about 4,000 years. I mean, so that's, I have to say, it's not 10,000 years. It's just 4,000 years. To be specific, from Abraham, about 3,700 years. Okay. I'd say that's a pretty big connection. We're not colonials. We're back in our ancestral homeland. Very few people in history have had this enduring connection to their homeland as we have. That's what I would say. Well, thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate it, and I'm sure that it will help a lot of our viewers to advocate for Israel and to fight the good fight on social media. Well, keep it up. Remember, advocate the truth. Stand up for the truth, stand up for Israel, and be proud. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Hananya. I wish you God's blessing in your work, and that may your dream come true.
Thank you. Thank you.
Ja, det var det vi hadde for denne gangen. Takk for at du har fulgt oss, og på gjensyn igjen neste uke med et nytt program.